Okay, we're back talking about Ben Sira Part 2. Now, I want to clarify, some people may have been confused. Ben Sira, the Sefer Ben Sira, is a Jewish book. It's Jewish writing, and it was written by a Jewish sage, scholar, scribe. Exactly what his name was, we're not sure exactly, but he would live before the temple of the destruction, before the destruction of the second temple. Now, if you look, we mentioned in the first video, Sanhedrin Kufam and Beis, that's the sort of ground zero in the Talmud for the book of Ben Sira. But there's another famous quote from Ben Sira in Tractate Bava Kama, Tzadik Beis Amid Beis. That's page 92b. And I'm going to read to you from this section in the Tractate Bava Kama. And it's rather interesting, as you're going to see. Amar le Rava le Rabba bar Mari, Mino hanimili damr inshi mitayel va'ozi dikla bisha gabekina de sarchi. That was a question. Rava said to Rabba bar Mari, from where is this matter derived where people say, a bad palm tree strolls and goes to be among a grove of barren trees? Meaning, bad people seek out other bad people. This was a common refrain in that time. Rabba bar Mari said to him, this matter is written in the Torah, it's repeated in the prophets, and triplicated in the writings, meaning this idea is written in the Torah, Nevi'im, and the Ksuvim. And he goes on to give the psukim, the verses where we see this idea in the Torah. Vayelach Esav el Yishmael. So we see that evil follows evil. Esav followed Yishmael. Shani ben Nevi'im, the prophets say something similar. Diksiv vayislaktu al yiftach anoshim reikim. And that's in the prophets, and it's for the third time reiterated in the writing Ksuvim. Tiksiv, as it says in Ben Sira Yud Gimel Yud Daled, Kol Oif Lemino Yishkoin Ubnei Adam Ledoimeloi, and that means all fowl will live with its kind, all birds will live with its kind, and men with those like him. Kol oif lemino yishkoin ubnei adam ledoimeloi. Now, this is very strange because you see here, Rabba bar Mari is quoting Ben Sira. Again, we say this was Ben Sira, chapter 13, verse 14, as proof that this idea is in the Ksuvim, in the writings. Now, generally speaking, as we said in the first video, Ben Sira is not part of the 24 books of the Hebrew Scriptures, of the Bible. So this is rather strange, it would seem, from his response, from Rabba bar Mari's response, that he considered the book of Ben Sira, it would seem, to be part of the Hebrew Scriptures. Now, it could be, what may have happened is that he confused this verse from Ben Sira with Mishlei. He assumed it came from Mishlei. Now, and that's why he said it's in the writings, it's in Ksuvim. Maybe, again, it seems from what we know that the sages, Amiroyim in the Talmud, they may not have had in front of them the whole book of Ben Sira. We said it's about 51 chapters. So they had an oral tradition of certain statements, certain verses from Ben Sira, and in his mind, Rabba bar Mari's mind, this may have become confused with other verses from Mishlei, which again, it would seem a bit odd that he would confuse that. So this needs further research, and scholars are aware of this. But again, I want to reiterate, the book of Ben Sira is a Jewish book. It was written by a Jew in Hebrew. Now, those in the Chabad community are going to be familiar in the Yom Kippur liturgy, the famous, towards the end of Musaf, it says the statement, Mara Koyen. There's a whole section starting Mara Koyen. etc. This section, those lines started with in Marek Kohen. They come from the end of the book of Ben Sira. And I just want to read to you again. I started to say in the first video, this is the book of Ben Sira in Hebrew by Professor Benchis, and he published, if you get a little closer, you could see here what the Hebrew looks like. These are the verses, and we just mentioned verse 13, 14, chapter